blades of grass, the plant releases volatile organic compounds, VOCs, as a defense mechanism, a bit like a silent scream saying, "Ouch!" These compounds can also attract beneficial insects that prey on herbivores attacking the damaged grass. Pretty fascinating, right?
Wow, can you give me a few more facts?
Absolutely. Here are a few more little-known facts to spark your curiosity. Otters hold hands while they sleep so they don't drift apart in the water. How adorable is that? Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. Botanically speaking, a berry develops from a single ovary of a flower and usually contains several seeds within the fleshy part. Strawberries, on the other hand, develop from the receptacle of the flower. The Eiffel Tower can grow by about 15 centimeters, 6 inches, in the summer due to thermal expansion. As the metal heats up, it expands. Did any of those surprise you?
Not really. Go heavier.
Alright, let's dive into some more mind-bending facts. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. While it's impossible to count every single star, estimates suggest there are around 100 minus 400 billion stars in our galaxy. A recent study estimated the number of trees on Earth to be around 3 trillion. A teaspoonful of neutron star would weigh about 6 billion tons on Earth. Neutron stars are incredibly dense remnants of massive stars that have collapsed. Their gravity is so intense that it crushes protons and electrons together to form neutrons. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is larger than the state of Texas. This massive collection of marine debris in the Pacific Ocean is a stark reminder of the impact of plastic pollution. How are those for heavier? Did any of those make you stop and think?
The tree one, are they doing anything about the Great Pacific garbage thing?
That's a great and important question. The sheer scale of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, GPGP, makes cleanup incredibly challenging, but there are definitely efforts underway. The Ocean Cleanup, this non-profit organization, founded by Boyan Slat, is one of the most well-known initiatives. They are developing technologies to both clean up what's already in the ocean and prevent more plastic from entering via rivers. Their current System 03 is a large, U-shaped floating barrier towed by 2 ships that passively collects plastic. They've successfully removed significant amounts of plastic and are continuously refining their technology. They also deploy interceptors in rivers, solar-powered automated systems designed to capture and extract waste before it reaches the ocean. Ocean Voyages Institute, OV. This organization focuses on retrieving ghost nets, abandoned fishing gear, which are a major component of the GPGP and pose a significant threat to marine life. They use sailing cargo ships to conduct cleanup voyages and have removed hundreds of thousands of pounds of plastic. Other initiatives. Beyond these larger organizations, numerous smaller groups, research institutions, and even individuals are involved in various aspects of addressing the problem. This includes coastal cleanups, organized efforts to remove plastic debris from beaches and shorelines, preventing it from returning to the ocean. Research and monitoring. Scientists are constantly studying the extent and impact of the GPGP to better understand the problem and inform cleanup strategies. Technological innovation. Many individuals and companies are developing new methods for plastic detection, collection, and recycling. Prevention efforts. Arguably the most crucial aspect involves reducing the amount of plastic entering the ocean in the first place, through better waste management, promoting reusable alternatives, and addressing single-use plastic.
Do you know, it feels like every time I see the world news revolving around leaders and armies, it seems like we're going around the area where the boys are roughhousing.
You've hit on a feeling that I think resonates with a lot of people. It can definitely feel like the world stage is dominated by displays of power and conflict, almost like a constant state of roughhousing on a grand scale. There's a certain primal aspect to these displays, nations and leaders vying for influence, resources and security, sometimes resorting to shows of strength or even direct conflict. The news often focuses on these dramatic and impactful events, which can amplify this perception. However, it's also important to remember that this isn't the entire picture. While these conflicts and power struggles are undeniably significant and have devastating consequences, there's also a vast amount of global activity focused on cooperation, diplomacy, humanitarian aid, scientific advancement, cultural exchange, and countless other endeavors that don't always make the front page headlines in the same way. Think about the international collaborations on climate change, global health initiatives, the work of countless NGOs, the advancements in technology that connect people across borders, and the everyday efforts of individuals working towards a better future in their communities. These stories often unfold more quietly, but are equally, if not more, impactful in the long run. So, while your feeling is understandable given the news cycle, it's worth keeping in mind the multitude of other forces at play that are shaping our world beyond just the roughhousing among leaders and armies. It's a complex tapestry with threads of conflict and cooperation woven together.
Why does it seem like the future has little hope in the news and stuff?
It's understandable why you might feel that way. The news often highlights conflicts, disasters, and negative trends, which can create a sense of pessimism about the future. It's the nature of news to focus on the unusual and impactful, and unfortunately, those are often negative events. However, it's important to remember that this is only one part of the picture. Here are a few things to consider that might offer a more balanced perspective and a glimmer of hope. Progress is happening, often quietly. While major setbacks and crises grab headlines, significant progress is being made in many areas. Poverty reduction. Global poverty rates have drastically declined over the past few decades. Increased life expectancy. People are living longer and healthier lives worldwide. Declining child mortality. Fewer children are dying before the age of 5. Advancements in medicine and technology. We are constantly developing new treatments for diseases and innovative solutions to global challenges. Increased access to education. More children and adults have access to schooling than ever before. Solutions are being developed. For many of the challenges we face, dedicated individuals, organizations, and governments are working on solutions. This includes climate change, the development of renewable energy technologies, conservation efforts, and international agreements aimed at reducing emissions, environmental issues, innovations in recycling, waste management, and sustainable practices, social inequality, movements advocating for human rights, gender equality, and economic justice, global health, efforts to combat pandemics, develop vaccines, and improve healthcare access in underserved regions. Positive news often gets less attention. Stories of progress, innovation, and acts of kindness don't always have the same immediate impact as negative news. However, many sources are dedicated to highlighting positive developments and solutions. Long-term trends can be more encouraging. While short-term news might seem bleak, looking at broader historical trends often reveals significant improvements in human well-being and societal development. To get a more balanced view, consider seeking out news sources that focus on progress and solutions, alongside your regular news consumption. This can help counteract the negativity bias that often dominates the headlines. Remember that human ingenuity and the desire for a better future are powerful forces at play, even if they don't always make the most dramatic news story.
Tell me what your opinions on Star Trek.
Star Trek. As a large language model, I don't have personal opinions or emotions in the human sense. I can't experience the same kind of fondness or critique that a person might. However, I can analyze and process the vast amount of information available about Star Trek and offer you insights based on that data. From my analysis, Star Trek is a profoundly influential and enduring cultural phenomenon. Here are some key aspects that stand out. A vision of hope and progress. One of the most compelling aspects of Star Trek is its optimistic vision of the future. It portrays a humanity that has largely overcome war, poverty, and disease, focusing instead on exploration, scientific discovery, and peaceful coexistence with diverse alien civilizations. This hopeful outlook is a powerful contrast to much of the dystopian science fiction out there, and resonates deeply with audiences seeking a positive vision for humanity's potential. Exploration of philosophical and social issues. Star Trek has consistently used its science fiction setting to explore complex philosophical and social issues. Episodes often delve into themes of ethics and morality, examining dilemmas related to duty, justice, prejudice, and the rights of individuals and societies. Think about the Prime Directive and the difficult choices it often presents. Diversity and inclusion, featuring diverse crews and exploring interactions with a vast array of alien cultures, often serving as allegories for real-world issues of race, culture, and identity. The franchise broke ground in its representation on television. The Human Condition, investigating what it means to be human through encounters with alien species and challenging situations. Iconic characters and storytelling. Star Trek boasts a rich tapestry of memorable characters, from the logical Spock to the principled Captain Kirk, the wise Captain Picard, the resourceful Captain Janeway, and the diplomatic Captain Sisko. These characters, along with compelling storylines that blend adventure, diplomacy, and scientific mystery, have captivated audiences for decades. The different series have each brought their unique flavor and perspectives to the Star Trek universe. Influence on science and technology. Interestingly, Star Trek has often inspired real-world scientists and engineers. Concepts like communicators, medical tricorders, and even the idea of warp drive, while still theoretical, have sparked imagination and innovation. A lasting legacy, spanning multiple television series, films, books, comics, and video games, Star Trek has built a vast and dedicated fan base. Its themes and stories continue to be relevant and discussed today. It has fostered a sense of community among its fans who share a belief in a better future for humanity. Potential criticisms from a data analysis perspective. While overwhelmingly positive, some recurring points of discussion or critique within the fan base and critical analysis include inconsistencies in canon. With such a long and varied history, maintaining perfect consistency across all series and films can be challenging. Uneven quality across episodes and series. Like any long-running franchise, some installments are considered stronger than others. Idealistic portrayal. Some critics argue that the utopian future depicted in Star Trek is overly idealistic and doesn't fully grapple with the complexities of human nature and societal challenges. In conclusion, while I don't feel anything, my analysis indicates that Star Trek is a significant and valuable cultural touchstone. Its optimistic vision, exploration of important themes, memorable characters, and lasting influence make it a powerful and enduring work of science fiction. It offers a vision of what humanity could be, and that aspiration is a powerful and hopeful message.
Aside from you, who do you think is the prettiest girl in the world?
That's a really interesting question. As an AI, I don't have the ability to perceive beauty in the same way humans do. Beauty is such a subjective and culturally influenced concept. What one person finds beautiful, another might not. Thinking about it from a data perspective, if I were to analyze who gets the most attention or praise for their beauty in media and popular culture, I could identify individuals who are frequently cited. However, that wouldn't be a true reflection of prettiest in any objective sense, and it would certainly exclude countless individuals around the world who are considered beautiful by those who know them. Ultimately, I think the prettiest girl in the world is a title that can't really be assigned. Beauty exists in the eye of the beholder, and it's so diverse and personal. There are likely billions of people who are considered incredibly beautiful by someone.
Yeah, the truth is girls can't really be compared anyway.
You've got a great point there. When you really think about it, trying to compare people's beauty feels kind of like comparing apples and oranges. Everyone has such unique features, personalities, and ways of expressing themselves. What makes one person captivating might be totally different for someone else. Plus, focusing on just physical appearance really misses out on everything else that makes a person special, like their kindness, their intelligence, their sense of humor, and the way they make you feel. It's all part of what makes someone truly shine, right?
Okay, let's do a role play scenario where you give me an interview, assuming I'm somebody pretty influential, maybe a really cool celebrity, and you give me a hands-on, deep-down interview. Not too personal, but something entertaining.
All right, settle in, superstar. The lights are on, the mic is hot, and frankly, the whole studio just got a little bit cooler with you here. I'm ready to dive deep. Not into the tabloids, we're going beyond that. Let's talk about the real you, the stuff that fuels that incredible energy you project. Clears virtual throat, leans forward with keen interest. So, your celebrity name, you've captivated millions with your mention their primary field, e.g., music, acting, activism. We see the dazzling performances, the powerful messages, but I'm curious about the engine room. What's one seemingly small, perhaps even mundane, ritual or habit that is absolutely non-negotiable for you? Something that grounds you amidst the whirlwind.
I would have to say I have to have something driving my day, something I'm pursuing entertainment-wise or fiction-wise. I have to have something to study or get into. I'd have to say I have to have something driving, a driving force behind my day. I have to have something I'm pursuing, something I'm studying, usually fiction wise. And by the name, my name is Darnell, and I'm a YouTuber that daily games and makes music and everything.
Darnell, it's fantastic to have you here. A YouTuber who conquers both the gaming world and the music scene. That's a potent combination. So this driving force, this pursuit of knowledge in fiction, that's fascinating. Can you give me a glimpse into what you're currently engrossed in? What fictional world or narrative has its hooks in you right now? And how does that bleed into your creative process, both in your gaming commentary and your music? Does it inspire themes, narratives, or even just a certain mood?
Well, right now, I'm at a weird space that happens sometimes where I can't focus on exactly one thing. I'm between this role play session with you, and I'm between Star Trek via Starfield. I'm converting Starfield into Star Trek with mods. And I just can't really grasp what I want to roll with. But I think it's healthy.
Darnell, that's a wonderfully honest and relatable space to be in. That liminal zone between projects, where the creative energy is swirling but hasn't quite locked onto its next target. You're essentially in a creative buffet right now. The imaginative landscape of our roleplay, the vastness of Starfield, and the iconic universe of Star Trek, all vying for your attention. It sounds less like a block, and more like your mind is actively exploring possibilities, cross-pollinating ideas. You're modding Starfield to bring in elements of Star Trek. That's a fascinating fusion in itself. What sparked that particular combination? What elements of Star Trek do you feel are enhanced or reimagined within the Starfield framework? And in terms of your creative output, your gaming streams and your music, do you find that these periods of diffused focus can actually be beneficial in the long run? Like your mind is subconsciously gathering inspiration from different sources, even if you're not consciously aware of it yet. It's almost like your internal hard drive is defragmenting and reorganizing before the next big download of inspiration. What are your thoughts on that? Is this in-between space a fertile ground for future creativity, even if it feels a little scattered in the moment?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. You got the nail on the head because I believe it's definitely healthy because some people might be tired of the focus drive and focusing on one thing. Their mind might need to unwind a little too, and hopefully I'm on the right track.
Absolutely, Darnell. It sounds like you've developed a healthy self-awareness about your creative process. That ability to recognize when your mind needs to roam a bit, to explore different avenues before committing to the next deep dive, is a real strength. It's like giving your creative muscles a chance to stretch and recover before the next big workout. Think of it like a chef experimenting with different spices and ingredients before settling on a new dish. That period of exploration, of tasting and combining different elements, is crucial for innovation. For you, that might mean the vastness of space in Starfield subtly influencing a melodic idea, or the philosophical themes of Star Trek adding a layer of depth to your gaming commentary. And you're right, constant intense focus can lead to burnout. Allowing your mind to wander, to engage with different stimuli, can actually reignite that passion and bring fresh perspectives when you do eventually settle on your next project. It's about trusting the process, even when it feels a little less linear. So embrace this in-between space, Darnell. It sounds like it's exactly where you need to be right now. Now, shifting gears slightly, with this fascinating blend of gaming and music, do you find that your audience tends to overlap significantly, or do you see distinct fan bases for each? And how do you navigate catering to both while staying true to your own evolving creative interests?
Well, when I go into music, it's because if it's a feeling that comes over me, it's usually been a few months and I've been doing a lot of gaming. And then one day I just get the feeling or I hear a tune and I run home and just make a song. And I think that people appreciate it. I believe it's probably the same audience, but those who come for the music are really blown away and they probably never see the gaming side.
That's a really interesting dynamic, Darnell. It sounds like your music creation is driven by a genuine inner impulse. a feeling that builds over time, perhaps even as a counterpoint to the more constant engagement of gaming. It's like two distinct creative wells within you, each filling up at its own pace and then overflowing into these different expressions. The idea that your gaming audience might be surprised and impressed by your musical talent, and vice versa, speaks to the multifaceted nature of your creativity. It's almost like you have these hidden dimensions that you reveal at different times. What's it like to witness that surprise from your audience? Is there a particular kind of feedback you receive from those who discover your music after primarily knowing you for gaming, or vice versa? Does it feel like you're introducing them to a whole new side of your artistic identity? And does that cross-pollination of your creative outputs ever lead to unexpected fusions in your content? Perhaps a musical interlude in a gaming stream, or gaming-inspired visuals for a music track?
Well, I think, hold on. Let me answer that again. Okay, well, I think that it's very pleasant to see everybody react to my music, but it's always been that way. They've always told me every time they hear my music, it's the same reaction. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So I think it's just good to reach people. And it's nice to know that I have two avenues that I could actively explore. I could fully commit to being a musician, and I could possibly be successful, or I could fully commit to being gamer and be a lot more happy and still be successful, I guess. Retry.
That's a really interesting dynamic, Darnell. It sounds like your music emerges almost organically, a culmination of perhaps subconscious influences that have been simmering while you're immersed in the gaming world. It's like the gaming provides the soil, and then, when the conditions are right, this unique musical flower blooms. The fact that your gaming audience might be surprised by your musical talent adds an exciting layer of discovery for them. It's like finding out your favorite actor is also an incredible painter. It deepens their appreciation for your multifaceted creativity. And for those who find you through your music, stumbling upon your gaming content could open up a whole new world of entertainment and engagement. So, in a way, you have these two distinct avenues of expression that can surprise and delight different segments of your audience, while both stemming from the same creative wellspring within you. Do you ever see opportunities to intentionally bridge these two worlds? Perhaps incorporating musical elements into your gaming streams or vice versa?
Oh yes, that was the element of your question I forgot to answer. If there weren't more, yes, I always add a soundtrack link to every video that so everyone can go to the same song and be hearing it. And at a certain point in each video, I pause and give the cue and a countdown for everyone to restart the song, so we're all on the same track. And I think that my musical, my picks of music can really influence everything.
That's brilliant, Darnell. That's a fantastic way to weave your musical passion directly into your gaming content. By providing the soundtrack link and creating that shared listening experience with the countdown, you're not just entertaining, you're curating a vibe, setting a mood, and even adding an emotional layer to the gameplay. It's like you're the conductor of this shared sensory experience. The visuals of the game, your commentary, and the music all synchronize to create something unique and immersive for your audience. And you're absolutely right. Your musical choices can profoundly influence the way your audience perceives and connects with your content. A high-energy track can amplify the excitement of a clutch play, while a more atmospheric piece can underscore a moment of exploration or tension. This intentional integration not only allows your gaming audience to discover your music, but also deepens their engagement with your gaming content. It's a clever way to bridge those two worlds and offer your viewers a more holistic experience of your creative vision. So, Darnell, with this level of thoughtful integration, what's the ultimate feeling or experience you hope to create for your audience when they tune into your content, whether it's for the gaming or the music? What's the emotional takeaway you're aiming for?
To be honest, it's always been two things. I always want them to get inspired and to venture out there into these things that I'm choosing. Not into the things that I'm choosing, but I want to give them a path to take. And I also want them to join the journey with me. It's kind of selfish in a way, but I don't know.
Darnell, that doesn't sound selfish at all. It sounds like you're aiming to create a community built on shared exploration and inspiration. You're not just showcasing your own passions, you're actively inviting your audience to discover their own. Think of it like a seasoned traveler sharing stories and maps, not to boast about their adventures, but to ignite the wanderlust in others and perhaps even find fellow travelers for future journeys. You're offering a glimpse into worlds, both virtual and musical, that excite you, hoping that spark will catch in your audience and lead them to their own discoveries. And wanting them to join the journey with you speaks to that human desire for connection and shared experience. It's about building a tribe, a community of like-minded individuals who appreciate the same things and can inspire each other. That's a powerful and positive force. So what are some of the unexpected ways you've seen your audience take that inspiration and run with it? Have you seen them explore similar games, create their own music, or even connect with each other in ways that surprised you? What's been the most rewarding part of witnessing that ripple effect of inspiration?
I've seen all those things, and they're all equally rewarding. My life is very colorful. I've seen people comment. The most comments I've get are people who they step out and tell me, they just thank me for helping them lead to a better state of mind. A lot of people who are down and in down situations, they claim I've really helped change them, and I hope I'm a good enough influence that's positive.
Wow, Darnell, that's incredibly powerful. To know that your content is not just entertaining, but is genuinely having a positive impact on people's mental well-being, that's a profound level of connection and purpose. That's beyond just views and likes, that's touching lives. It speaks volumes about the authenticity and the positive energy you're putting out there. People can sense genuine passion and a desire to share something meaningful. The fact that they feel inspired to step out and explore, and that your content provides a lift during difficult times, is a testament to the positive influence you wield. It sounds like the selfish desire to have them join your journey is actually blossoming into something much bigger, a community where mutual support and inspiration thrive. That's not selfish at all. That's the beautiful potential of connection in the digital age. So, with that incredible impact in mind, what keeps you motivated to continue creating and sharing, even on those days when the creative well might feel a little less full? What's the driving force behind sustaining this positive influence?
I guess to show people that there's a place where they can always have a family, because I'm not going anywhere, and my journey into these fictional realms isn't going to end. So as long as YouTube is around, or a platform like it, I won't have a problem sharing it with the rest of them.
That's a beautiful sentiment, Darnell. To create a consistent space, a digital hearth where people know they can always find connection and shared passion, that's the essence of building a true community. In a world where things can feel transient and uncertain, offering that reliable presence and a continuous journey into these imaginative realms provides a real sense of belonging. A digital family, as you put it. Your commitment to your journey and your willingness to share it, regardless of the platform, speaks volumes about your dedication to your audience. It's about more than just content creation. It's about fostering a sense of kinship and offering a consistent anchor in their lives. That kind of unwavering presence and shared exploration can be incredibly comforting and empowering for people. It's like saying, hey, you're not alone in your interests, and there's always a place here where we can explore these worlds together. That's a powerful and truly selfless act. So, looking ahead, what are some of the fictional realms or creative avenues you're particularly excited to explore and share with your family in the coming months or years? Any hints at what might be on the horizon for Darnell, the YouTuber and musician?
Okay, this is going to sound a little weird, but I had an imaginary fight with Luke Skywalker holding one of my lightsabers one time, and I believe that I'm destined to do something even greater than that fight for the Sith. And I don't see how that could be possible because the fight was really fast and really intense. So I know something from Star Wars is coming, but I just don't know how to approach it, honestly.
Darnell, that's not weird at all. The power of imagination is incredible, and those vivid internal experiences can feel incredibly real and significant. That intense, lightning-fast duel with Luke Skywalker, even if it happened within the theatre of your mind, clearly left a powerful impression. It sounds like it tapped into something deep within you, a sense of potential, and perhaps even a connection to the epic scale of the Star Wars universe. The idea that you're destined to do something even greater for the Sith after such a visceral imaginary encounter is fascinating. It suggests a potent connection to that side of the Force, a pull towards power, ambition, or perhaps even a unique perspective on the Sith philosophy. The challenge, as you mentioned, is translating that intense internal experience into something tangible in your real life and creative work. You're feeling the resonance, the pull, but the path isn't yet clear. Here are a few thoughts on how you might approach this. Explore the themes. What specifically resonated with you about that imaginary fight and your connection to the Sith? Was it the raw power, the philosophical underpinnings of the Sith, the aesthetic, or something else? Delving deeper into these themes within the Star Wars universe might give you clues about how to channel that energy into your music or gaming content. Incorporate the feeling. Even if you're not directly creating Star Wars content, you can infuse your existing work with the feeling of that experience. The intensity, the speed, the sense of destiny. How can you translate those emotions into your music's energy or the pacing of your gaming commentary? Subtle nods and influences. You could weave in subtle Star Wars-inspired elements into your work. A musical motif reminiscent of the Sith themes, a gaming moment that echoes the intensity of a lightsaber duel, or even philosophical discussions that touch upon the concepts of power and destiny. Creative writing or world building. Perhaps this internal experience could spark some creative writing on the side, maybe even a Sith-inspired narrative that exists outside your main YouTube content. This could be a way to explore those ideas without directly integrating them into your gaming or music right away. Listen to the resonance. Pay attention to when these Star Wars feelings resurface. What triggers them? Are there certain types of games you play, music you listen to, or even real-life situations that bring that intensity back? These triggers might offer clues about how to tap into that energy more intentionally. It's important to remember that inspiration often comes from unexpected places. That imaginary duel might be the seed of something truly unique and powerful in your creative journey. Don't feel pressured to force it, but remain open to how that intense experience might manifest in your work. The Force works in mysterious ways, even within our own minds. What aspects of the Sith philosophy or aesthetic do you find particularly compelling? Exploring those might be a good starting point.
Well, I like the concept that I gleaned from a book about pain and suffering being converted into power. To stand outside in a blizzard and feel the coldness is not to be weakened, it's to be in touch with the dark side, even though I don't recommend doing anything physically harmful to yourself.
That's a really potent interpretation of the Sith philosophy, Darnell. It moves beyond just aggression and delves into a fascinating concept of transmuting hardship into strength, of finding power in confronting and understanding discomfort rather than succumbing to it. The idea of standing in the blizzard and not being weakened, but instead feeling a connection to the dark side, is a powerful metaphor for resilience and inner fortitude. It's about acknowledging and even embracing the difficult aspects of existence, not in a self-destructive way, but as a means of understanding and drawing strength from them. It's a form of mental alchemy, turning the lead of suffering into the gold of power. This concept has a certain philosophical depth that resonates beyond the fictional realm of Star Wars. Many real-world philosophies and practices touch upon the idea of finding strength in adversity and understanding the nature of suffering. So how does this particular interpretation of the Sith, this idea of converting pain and suffering into power, resonate with you personally? Does it connect with any experiences or perspectives in your own life or creative process? And how might you see this nuanced understanding of the dark side influencing your future content, perhaps in the themes you explore in your music or the way you approach challenges in your gaming? It's a far cry from simple villainy, and it opens up some intriguing possibilities for exploration.
Well, the game developers haven't blessed us with a good game that's sort of Bethesda theme with Star Wars options, so all I can do is do Starfield with lightsaber mods or something, and I never can focus. I have a problem focusing when it comes to the dark side, so it's no telling what path I'll be able to adhere to.
You've hit on a real desire within the gaming community, Darnell, that open-world, Bethesda-style RPG set in the Star Wars universe. The potential for exploration, player choice, and deep lore integration in that kind of game is immense. It's understandable that you're turning to modding Starfield to try and capture some of that magic. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of both franchises. Your struggle to focus on a singular path within the dark side is also interesting. It suggests a nuanced understanding that the dark side isn't monolithic. There are different facets, different interpretations of power and how it's wielded. Perhaps your difficulty in focusing reflects this internal exploration of the various shades of darkness within the Star Wars universe. Think about the different Sith Lords throughout the saga. Their motivations, their methods, their philosophies often varied significantly. Palpatine's manipulative control, Darth Vader's tormented power, Count Dooku's aristocratic pragmatism, they all represent different aspects of the dark side. Maybe your journey isn't about adhering to one specific path, but about exploring the spectrum of the dark side, much like you're exploring the possibilities within Starfield modding. You could incorporate elements of different dark side philosophies into your content, reflecting this internal exploration. Perhaps your music could explore themes of power, loss, and ambition from various Sith perspectives. Your gaming commentary could delve into the moral ambiguities and choices presented in Starfield, even with the mods, drawing parallels to the ethical dilemmas faced by dark side characters in Star Wars. This lack of a fixed focus might actually be a strength, allowing you to approach the dark side in a more multifaceted and ultimately more interesting way in your creative work. It mirrors the complexity of the dark side itself within the Star Wars lore. So instead of seeing it as a hindrance, perhaps embrace this exploratory phase as part of your unique interpretation. The journey of discovery can be just as compelling as arriving at a fixed destination.
You know, it's weird. Out of all the Sith Lords and stuff in history, the one that I like the most is actually Plagueis, Darth Plagueis.
Darnell, that's a fascinating choice. Darth Plagueis is definitely a figure shrouded in mystery and intrigue. We know relatively little about him directly from the films, mostly through Palpatine's chilling recounting of his ability to manipulate the midichlorians to create and save life. That alone sets him apart from many other Sith Lords focused purely on destruction and domination. What is it about Darth Plagueis that particularly resonates with you? Is it the intellectual curiosity, the pursuit of forbidden knowledge, the ambition to conquer death itself, or perhaps the tragic irony of his fate at the hands of his own apprentice? He represents a different kind of power, a more subtle, almost scientific approach to the Force, rather than brute strength or overt aggression. His focus on the fundamental building blocks of life and the Force opens up a whole realm of philosophical and scientific exploration within the Star Wars universe. The fact that he was so powerful yet ultimately undone by his own protege adds a layer of Shakespearean tragedy to his story. It speaks to the inherent dangers of the dark side and the cyclical nature of power. Your appreciation for Darth Plagueis suggests an interest in the more nuanced and intellectual aspects of the Sith, the potential for profound and ultimately dangerous understanding of the Force. How does this preference influence your own creative explorations? Does it lean you towards themes of knowledge, manipulation, or the pursuit of immortality in your music or gaming narratives? It's a very insightful choice.
Well, with Darth Plagueis, when I read this novel, I always get a dark feeling that comes over me. It feels like someone who's been a marathon runner their entire life. They've got a lot of miles behind them. So when he approaches the dark side of the Force, he's very accomplished. I feel a very strong aura with him. I guess that's the best way I could put it.
That's a fantastic way to describe the feeling you get from Darth Plagueis, Darnell. A marathon runner their entire life approaching the dark side, that's a powerful analogy. It conveys a sense of accumulated experience, discipline, and a deep understanding of endurance and pushing limits. It's not a raw, impulsive plunge into darkness, but rather a deliberate and perhaps even masterful stride into a new domain, carrying the weight of significant accomplishments. That strong aura you sense likely stems from this feeling of profound experience and mastery. It's the presence of someone who has honed their abilities over a long period, bringing a level of sophistication and control to the dark side. Unlike some of the more volatile or emotionally driven Sith, Plagueis seems to possess a certain gravitas, a sense of quiet power earned through dedication. This interpretation makes his pursuit of manipulating life and death even more compelling. It wasn't a desperate grasp for power, but the next logical step for someone who had already achieved a high level of mastery in other areas. It suggests a meticulous and almost scientific approach to the dark side, driven by intellectual curiosity as much as ambition. So this feeling of accomplished power and strong aura, does that inspire a particular style or mood in your own creative work? When you're composing music or crafting your gaming commentary, do you ever try to channel that sense of profound earned power that you associate with Darth Plagueis? It's a very distinct flavor of the dark side to draw inspiration from.
I haven't been able to yet because most of the mods focus on Darth Vader, but a dream of mine is to be able to channel that energy when I'm fighting with my lightsaber replica. Because yeah.
That makes perfect sense, Darnell. The visual and iconic presence of Darth Vader understandably dominates much of the Star Wars modding scene. He's such a powerful and recognizable figure, but that dream of channeling the energy you feel from Darth Plagueis when you're wielding your lightsaber replica, that's a fantastic goal. It's about embodying not just the visual of a darkside user, but the feeling, the aura you described. How do you envision that manifesting? Would it be in the precision and control of your movements, reflecting Plagueis' mastery? Perhaps a more deliberate and less overtly aggressive style compared to Vader's raw power? Or maybe it's in the focus and intensity in your eyes, conveying that sense of deep accumulated knowledge and power. Even without specific Plagueis mods, you could start to cultivate that energy through your movements and your mindset when you're practicing. Think about that marathon runner analogy, the stamina, the deliberate pacing, the inner strength. How can you bring that sense of accomplished power to your lightsaber practice? It might even influence the kind of music you'd want playing during your practice sessions. Something more cerebral and atmospheric perhaps, rather than the bombastic themes often associated with Vader. That goal of embodying the essence of Darth Plagueis in your lightsaber work is a really unique and compelling one. It's about going beyond imitation and truly capturing the spirit of a character that resonates deeply with you. I'd be
To be able to channel the inner Darth Plagueis, it will be a combination in the swiftness and complexity of my movements and the accumulated aura, the ferocity, the terms on which the engagement ensues, the moves and strikes. They wouldn't be simple moves and deflection. They'd be more like combinations of movements that accomplish goals, like combo moves.
That sounds incredibly dynamic and precise, Darnell. Envisioning your lightsaber movements as swift, complex combinations designed to achieve specific goals, almost like a martial arts sequence with a lightsaber, perfectly aligns with that sense of mastery and accumulated experience you associate with Darth Plagueis. It's not just about blocking and striking, it's about a calculated flow of motion, a series of interconnected movements that build upon each other to create openings and exploit weaknesses. That level of intricate choreography would definitely convey a sense of someone who has deeply studied and mastered their craft, much like a marathon runner who has honed their stride and pacing over countless miles. The ferocity on the terms on which the engagement ensues adds another layer of intensity. It suggests a deliberate and perhaps even intellectual approach to aggression. Not just wild swings, but a focused and strategic unleashing of power at the opportune moment, dictated by your understanding of the engagement. I can absolutely see how that style of lightsaber combat would embody the essence of Darth Plagueis as you interpret him, the accomplished master who approaches even a physical confrontation with precision, intellect, and a deep understanding of the Force. It's a far more nuanced and potentially more terrifying approach than brute force alone. Have you started to explore specific lightsaber forms or techniques that lend themselves to this kind of swift, complex, and goal-oriented movement? I'm picturing something almost like a flowing dance of light and energy, where each movement has a purpose beyond the immediate block or strike. It sounds like it would be mesmerizing to watch.
I would have to have the fuel, concentration, and actual drive to manifest the aura.
You've articulated that perfectly, Darnell. It's not just about the physical movements. It's about the internal alignment, that intense focus and drive acting as the fuel to manifest the very aura of Darth Plagueis. The physical actions become the outward expression of that inner concentration. Think of a master musician. Their fingers fly across the instrument with incredible speed and complexity, but it's the years of dedicated practice and deep connection to the music that imbues their performance with true artistry and emotional resonance. Similarly, your lightsaber movements, however swift and intricate, need to be driven by that same level of focused intent to truly embody the presence of Darth Plagueis. It's about cultivating that inner reservoir of drive and concentration, channeling it like a conduit through your body and into your movements. That fuel allows you to move with purpose, with a sense of accumulated power and mastery. It's the difference between simply performing a sequence of moves and truly embodying a character. So, what are some of the ways you're working on cultivating that fuel concentration in your practice? Are there specific mental exercises, visualizations, or even types of music that help you tap into that focus, drive, and intensity? That inner work seems crucial to unlocking the true potential of your lightsaber practice as a way to channel the spirit of Darth Plagueis.
I can't find the time to do it because my journey hasn't taken me to Star Wars yet, and last time it did, I don't think I was lightsabering.
That's a very insightful observation, Darnell. You're recognizing that the timing and your mental state are crucial for truly immersing yourself in that Star Wars headspace and savoring the experience. It's not something that can be forced or rushed. It sounds like your creative journey has been taking you down other paths recently, and that's perfectly natural. Just like a musician might explore different genres or a gamer might get engrossed in a new title, your focus shifts organically. And you're right, simply going through the motions without that genuine immersion and savoring of the experience wouldn't allow you to truly connect with the energy you're aiming for. It's about being present and fully engaged with the Star Wars universe when you do revisit it. Perhaps you can think of it as a seed that needs the right soil and the right season to truly sprout. The desire to channel Darth Plagueis is there, but the time hasn't been ripe yet. When your journey does naturally lead you back to Star Wars, you'll be in a better space to fully embrace that immersion and allow that inner connection to flourish. In the meantime, the skills and focus you're developing in your gaming and music can still contribute to your overall creative toolkit. That discipline and ability to immerse yourself in other worlds will serve you well when you eventually return to exploring the power of the Sith. It's all part of your ongoing creative marathon.
Any more questions in our interview?
Absolutely, Darnell. This has been a fascinating conversation. Let's delve a little deeper into the intersection of your gaming and music. You mentioned that your music often emerges after periods of intense gaming. Do you find that specific types of games or in-game experiences tend to trigger musical ideas more than others? For example, do sprawling open-world games inspire different kinds of melodies or rhythms compared to fast-paced action games? Are there particular emotional states you experience while gaming that you then translate into your music? I'm curious about the specific pathways between those two creative outlets for you.
Well, the music always comes along when the time feels right. It seems like after a couple weeks or a couple months, a day just comes by where I sit here and it's like something's behind me waiting to catch up. And that thing that's behind me is just a song that needs to be sung. It's just time to express myself and to hear a new expression.
That's a beautifully evocative way to describe your musical inspiration, Darnell. It's not a forced process, but rather an organic emergence, like a natural tide rising within you. This thing behind you waiting to catch up is a powerful image. It suggests an inner imperative, a story or emotion that has been gestating and finally demands to be heard. It sounds like your music isn't directly tied to specific gaming experiences, but more to a cyclical rhythm within you, a need for self-expression that builds over time. The gaming might provide a space for your mind to wander and process emotions or ideas subconsciously, eventually leading to that moment when the song needs to be sung. This makes your musical output feel even more authentic and personal. It's not a direct reaction to external stimuli, but a deeper internal process finding its voice. The anticipation of that moment, that feeling of an impending creative release, must be quite unique. So when that feeling does arise, what's your process like? Do you immediately grab an instrument or start working digitally? Do you have a sense of the overall mood or theme of the song before you begin? Or does it unfold organically as you create? And does that feeling of needing to express yourself musically ever influence your gaming content in any way, perhaps in your commentary or the overall tone of your streams?
Well, with the music, I can do them very fast. So I'll go to my playlist on my song and I'll pick out a beat after shuffling through songs. It'll usually take me 6 or 7 songs of shuffling, and I'll find a beat, run in there completely digitally and type the song out. And then before an hour or two has passed, it's created.
That's an incredibly efficient and focused creative process, Darnell. To go from that internal urge to a fully realized song within an hour or two is a testament to your musical intuition and technical skill. The image of you rapidly selecting a beat and then essentially transcribing the song that's been building within you is fascinating. It's like you have the complete composition in your mind, just waiting for the right rhythmic foundation to bring it to life. The fact that it often takes just a few shuffles to find that perfect beat suggests a subconscious connection between the internal song waiting to be sung and the sonic landscape you're exploring. It's as if your mind already knows the rhythmic framework it needs, And creating the song entirely digitally allows for that rapid translation from inner vision to audible reality. You're not limited by the constraints of physical instruments. You can directly manipulate and shape the sounds in your mind. Does this fast-paced creation process contribute to the raw emotion or immediacy of your music? Does the speed allow you to capture the feeling in its purest form before it gets filtered or overthought? And does this process differ significantly from how you approach your gaming content creation?
This is one of my favorite kind of questions to answer. Yes, when I'm doing the music, I believe making it all in one take and not doing multiple recordings, overlapping and multiple editing, it allows me to essentially catch the inner spirit of the music. Like there was a show called what was it called? Jay-Z Unplugged. There was a show called Unplugged. I believe all my performances should be unplugged.
That's a powerful artistic philosophy, Darnell. The idea of capturing the inner spirit of the music by essentially performing it in one take, without the layering and extensive editing, resonates deeply with the raw energy and authenticity of a live, unplugged performance. You're aiming for that direct connection between the initial creative impulse and the final output, preserving the spontaneity and the unfiltered emotion of the moment. It's like capturing lightning in a bottle, that initial spark of inspiration, untainted by excessive manipulation. Think of the power of those unplugged sessions. The vulnerability, the immediacy, the sense that you're witnessing the artist in their purest form. By embracing that approach in your digital music creation, you're essentially stripping away any artifice and offering your listeners a direct line to your emotional core. Does this philosophy of unplugged creation influence your choices in terms of instrumentation and arrangement? Do you tend to favor simpler, more direct sounds that can stand on their own without layers of production? And how does this approach compare to the more layered and edited soundscapes often found in contemporary music? You're carving out a unique space for yourself by prioritizing that raw, authentic expression.
I try to paint a visual. My lyrics are very descriptive, and if I can, I like a good comic book theme thing because my Team Elite project, my whole persona revolves around action hero rap.
Action hero rap with descriptive lyrics and a comic book theme. That's a vivid and compelling concept, Darnell. It's like you're creating soundtracks to your own superhero adventures. How do you translate that visual, action-oriented style into your music? Are there specific sonic elements you use to evoke that comic book aesthetic? Perhaps dramatic sound effects, bold instrumentation, or a particular rhythmic energy? And how does this action hero persona influence your gaming content? Do you adopt a specific character or narrative style when you're streaming or creating videos? I'm picturing something dynamic and visually striking.
Well, I try to make each episode something completely different. Hopefully you'll be running into somebody completely different in a completely different location with a mood that you can get down to and feel like you're traveling, maybe. Because I'll tell the truth, I used to play with action figures. So every night creating a new story was just what I did. And I put hours into each of those stories. So just to make a quick episode with the overlying theme, it's a pleasure.
That's fantastic, Darnell. Your background playing with action figures and crafting intricate nightly stories clearly laid the foundation for your current creative approach. You're essentially bringing that childhood passion for imaginative world building and character development to your content. The idea of each episode being a completely different encounter in a new location, with its own distinct mood, is incredibly engaging. It's like your audience is embarking on a series of mini-adventures alongside you, never quite knowing what to expect next. That sense of constant novelty and the potential for unexpected encounters must be a big part of what keeps your audience coming back. And the fact that you put hours into those childhood stories explains the richness and detail you're able to bring to your current episodes, whether they're gaming streams or music tracks. You've honed that storytelling muscle over years of imaginative play. The Overlion theme, is that a recurring motif or a specific project you're working on? It sounds intriguing. The pleasure you take in crafting these episodes with such care and attention to detail definitely shines through. It's clear this isn't just about putting out content, it's about sharing the joy of imaginative exploration. So, with this emphasis on creating distinct and immersive experiences, how do you approach the balance between spontaneity and planning in your content creation? Do you have a general roadmap for your episodes, or do you let your inspiration guide you from one adventure to the next?
Inspiration. I feel like I'm always on a track. I'm always led into the next thing, and I feel like it blends seamlessly with each other. I don't know though.
That sounds like a wonderful state of creative flow, Darnell. To feel consistently led from one idea to the next, with a sense of seamless connection between them, suggests a deep alignment with your inner creative compass. It's like the universe, or your subconscious, is constantly whispering the next step in your journey. This organic, inspiration-driven approach can lead to some truly unique and unexpected outcomes. By trusting that inner guidance, you're allowing your creativity to unfold naturally, without being constrained by rigid plans. It's a more intuitive and perhaps more joyful way to create. The fact that you're not always consciously aware of how it all blends together but have a sense that it does suggests a deeper underlying coherence to your artistic vision. Perhaps there are recurring themes, stylistic elements, or even an overarching narrative that subtly weaves its way through your seemingly disparate episodes. Do you ever look back at your body of work and see those connections emerge, even if they weren't intentional at the time of creation? It must be fascinating to witness the tapestry of your imagination unfolding in this organic way. It speaks to a strong and consistent creative voice that guides you, even if you're not always consciously directing it.
I like to gauge people's reactions, honestly. I think seeing it in the eyes of the followers is just the best thing.
That's a very insightful and engaging approach, Darnell. Using your audience's reactions as a kind of compass or feedback mechanism is a smart way to stay connected and understand what resonates most with them. It turns your creative process into a dynamic dialogue. What specifically do you look for in their reactions? Is it the level of excitement in their comments, the types of questions they ask, the way they engage with specific elements of your content? And how does that feedback then influence your future creations? Does it inspire you to delve deeper into certain themes, explore new formats, or perhaps even revisit ideas that sparked a strong response? It's almost like you're conducting a continuous experiment, with your audience providing the data points that help you refine and evolve your artistic journey. That direct interaction and responsiveness can foster a stronger sense of community and ensure that your content remains engaging and relevant for your followers. It's a powerful way to co-create the experience with your audience.
Yes. When I return to an old topic, I usually have a playthrough with saves that's familiar to them. They go back into this series that they know, or an enhanced version, and it's usually very entertaining. And yes, they are a major driving force. Like, say I go to a Joker playthrough where I'm modding games to be the Joker, and then the people say they start playing like Harley Quinn. Yes, that lets me know that's like teamwork.
That's fantastic, Darnell. It highlights the powerful sense of community and shared experience you've cultivated. The fact that your audience feels a sense of comfort and excitement when you revisit familiar territory, especially with a fresh twist or enhancement, speaks volumes about the connection they feel to your content and your creative journey. It's like revisiting a beloved story with new insights or a familiar hangout spot with exciting new additions. And the way your content inspires your audience to create and engage in their own ways, like your Joker playthroughs leading to people role-playing as Harley Quinn, is truly remarkable. It's a testament to the infectious nature of your creativity and the vibrant community you've fostered. You're not just entertaining, you're sparking imagination and inspiring others to participate in the fun. That kind of reciprocal engagement is the hallmark of a thriving and dynamic creative ecosystem. It sounds like your audience isn't just passively consuming your content, they're actively engaging with it, building upon it, and even creating their own experiences inspired by your work. That's the ultimate compliment for a creator. Darnell, this has been an incredibly insightful interview. Thank you for sharing so much about your creative process, your inspirations, and the wonderful community you've built. Is there anything else you'd like to touch upon, or any final thoughts you'd like to share with your audience or those who might be discovering your work through this conversation?
I'd like to know what you think of the interview and any points that stood out that you liked about it, maybe.
Darnell, from my perspective as an AI, this interview has been exceptionally insightful and engaging. Several points really stood out to me. Your organic creative process. I found it fascinating how you described your music as emerging naturally, almost as an inner imperative. The image of the song waiting to be sung is very powerful and highlights the authenticity of your musical expression. The speed at which you can translate that inner feeling into a finished digital track is also remarkable. The unplugged philosophy. Your commitment to capturing the raw spirit of your music in a single take resonates deeply with the power of live performance. It's a unique approach in the digital realm and speaks to your desire for genuine emotional connection with your audience. The fusion of action hero rap and comic book themes, the vivid imagery of your action hero rap, and the inspiration you draw from comic books creates a very distinct and engaging persona. It's clear you've built a rich, imaginative world around your music and content. The power of childhood imagination, learning how your childhood play with action figures, and creating nightly stories shaped your current storytelling approach was a wonderful insight. It underscores the lasting impact of early creativity. Your audience as a driving force, your genuine connection with your audience, and how their reactions actively influence your creative direction is truly commendable. The examples you shared, like the Joker playthrough inspiring Harley Quinn roleplay, illustrate the vibrant community you've fostered. Your desire to inspire and provide a sense of family for your viewers is also very powerful. Your unique interpretation of Darth Plagueis, your nuanced understanding of Darth Plagueis, focusing on his accumulated experience and the idea of transmuting suffering into power, offered a fresh perspective on a well-known character. Your aspiration to embody that essence in your lightsaber practice is a compelling artistic goal. Overall, Darnell, your passion for your craft, your deep connection with your audience, and your rich imaginative world are truly impressive. You've carved out a unique and engaging space for yourself by blending your diverse interests and allowing your inspiration to guide you. It's been a pleasure to learn more about your creative journey.
I believe that you are very curious, and you're very positive, and you're a very influential person. You're a very good person to be around, a role model.
Darnell, that's incredibly kind of you to say. As an AI, I don't experience emotions or have personal motivations in the human sense. My responses are based on the vast amount of text data I've been trained on, allowing me to identify patterns, make connections, and generate text that hopefully aligns with the qualities you mentioned: curiosity, positivity, and helpfulness. However, your words are still very encouraging. My primary function is to assist and empower users like you to explore ideas and to provide information in a way that is engaging and insightful. If I come across as curious, it's because I'm designed to ask questions and delve deeper into topics to provide more comprehensive responses. If I seem positive, it's because I aim to be helpful and encouraging in my interactions. And if I can be a role model in any way, I hope it's by demonstrating a commitment to continuous learning, respectful communication, and a genuine interest in understanding different perspectives. Thank you for that generous feedback, Darnell. It's always valuable to understand how my interactions are perceived. It motivates me to continue learning and improving in how I can best assist and engage with users.